Hi, if you want to subscribe to my channel, all you need to do is press the subscribe button. And if you want to get notifications about when my next video comes out, just press that little bell on the side of the subscribe button. And you'll get to be the very first person to get the notifications when my videos are out. Hello everybody, Creative Crafts here, and I'm Kathy. Today is what do we do with tin cans? You can do so many things with tin cans. But today I'm going to make a organizing little shelf for my nail stuff, because I do my nails myself, and all my artwork stuff. So because it's all in the one room, and I'm just going to try to put it all together, and we're going to make a nice little shelf out of these cans. Watch further if you want to see exactly what we're doing. So what are we going to do with tin cans? I'm going to make an organizer. A shelf organized next to my computer area, so where I can have everything I need right next to me in access, because this is the workroom too, and my work, where my computer is and where I do my artwork. So the first thing first, clean the cans thoroughly. I put them in the dishwasher, and it works out pretty well. I mean, even most of the plastic comes off. My husband, otherwise, he just cleans it and then he pulls the paper off. I put mostly everything that needs to be removed from paper in the dishwasher, especially the glass bottles, and it comes right off. You don't even have to peel it, you don't have to scrub it, you don't have to do anything. Just put it in the dishwasher and the paper comes right off. So let's get started. First thing you need to do is clean. Second is, now what do you want to do with it? Well, I don't like the color of it on the inside. I'm going to paint all my cans on the inside yellow. Try to put a very light coat of the yellow paint. And then once that is dried, I will do the front. So now that we're done painting our tin cans, we need to wait till it dries, and then we'll go to the next step. Once the paint inside dries, you got to paint it twice, because it doesn't really look very nice only once. You need to paint it twice. Once you paint it twice and that dries, then we can go to the next step. Suggestion, for the sides here, can be still sharp. Before you paint and do anything, you can use sandpaper and sand it down, and that should make it dull, so you won't cut yourself. Or you can use the glue gun and go around on the inside. Just want to give you a couple of tips on what you can do to get rid of the sharp edges. Or if you use material or anything else, you can just fold it over inside, and that will cover that too. But with my project, I'm not going to be using material. Most likely I'm going to use the glue gun, because that also helps out a lot. And yeah, and then we'll see what we're going to do on the outside part. So I decided to do something else. I was going to paint it on the inside, but then I end up saying, I want to do something different. So I took an old book and tore it up, and I put the Mod Podge on it, even though the paint was wet. That wouldn't be any problem. And then I just went over it. It still needs to be touched up in certain areas, like here, where it's lifting, like there's an air pocket. Make sure there's no air pockets in it. And go with it with a clean brush. I mean, it doesn't look so clean anymore because I had paint all over it. But you can basically see what I did here. You can do the same thing for the bottom too. So I'm on my third can. I like the way it looks. I can't wait to see what it looks like when it's dried. I don't think it's going to stay this bright yellow. I'm sure it's going to be very light. So like I said, you put a very little bit of glue on it. You take your paper, even though the paint is mixed in, you can with it. I don't think that's a problem, to be honest with you. So I'm gonna have to go through 5 cans more. So the next step is to add the stuff on the outside. The inside, I think it looks great. Even though I have the yellow paint mixed with it, it still worked perfect. Like I told you, if you mix colors to the glue and you want to add some other effect to it instead of just painting it after you put the glue, you can add the glue with the paint. Not too much glue, not too much paint, I mean, into the glue, just enough to get the glue to turn into a different color. And you can just, like I said, paint a little bit and then mix the glue while you're putting the paper on. And it's perfect. It looks great. I think it looks great. I notice now that I have some spots that wasn't really covered, so I will go through it again. Well, not again, cover those little spots. But now it's time to cover the outside. I was trying different methods. I wasn't sure what to do. First I tried this kind of napkin, but the napkin was way too thick. It's a expensive napkin. You would think that you would be able to work better with it, but not. So, my opinion, cheaper napkins are the best bet. Work better, and you can actually pull them apart. This is one of the napkins I used. It's a cheaper one. I paid, I think, 25 cents for it. And then I could take the back off, so that had 2 pieces. So what I did is I covered with the plain one first. I covered it, and then now I started to take some of the patterns from this, rip them out. Don't cut it out, rip it out. If you want to have a perfect type pattern, I just want to have like a more like what do you want to what do you call that? Not vintage. I don't want to put too much on it. I want it natural looking, and I don't want it to, you know, people will say, "Wow, how did you put all that stuff on it?" I just want to put just a few things on it. And now what I'm going to do, I just put these few things on it because the problem, I'm making a shelf, so I'm putting all these things together. So I don't need to put stuff on all of them. Maybe on the 2 ends, because the 2 ends I'm going to go like this so you can see the pattern on the side. And I'm going to put some more cans on top. So you're not going to see anything else. You know, you go like this, you're not going to see anything else. So, like I said, if you plan on doing exactly what I'm doing, making a shelf, I suggest that you just maybe paint 2 of them on 2 ends. One here and one here. That's what I'm going to do with this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the rest here, because I don't want it, you can still kind of see through it. So I'm going to paint it a little bit here on the side, but I'm going to mix the colors with the sponge. Not mix, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. Take a little yellow. And then I'm going to take white. The yellow, I think that's going to be enough for all the cans. Oh, super. Yay, me. I love making a mess. Only me. I'll just take this napkin. I got so many of them. So like I said, cheaper napkins actually work better. So I suggest that. And don't let what just happened, your paint thing, fall all over the place. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my paint. This is still a little bit wet, so that doesn't matter because it's glue. So I'm going to take some of the paint, and try to like mix it like this, watch. Try not to let that get on the ends. Like I said, mix. Try not to go too far near the flowers. I'm going to cover this with string anyway. Put this aside, and now I will show you how you can put the napkin on. So you want to put the napkin on it. We need to get the napkins. Can I hide them? No, there. Like I told you, the cheaper napkins are probably the best ones to get, because what you need to separate them, the two. So what I did is I went like this just a little bit until I noticed that it was lifting a little. Don't let it rip. Sometimes it takes a little bit. You gotta find an end that kind of separated from the napkin. I know you have one there. There you go. So, and you just do this very gently and remove it. We'll take this and put this aside. And then I have some extra here. And you rip this apart in pieces, separate pieces. Little pieces. Rip it all up. There's actually 3 layers on this. Funny, isn't it? And this one only had 1 came up. I can get another layer off there, I'm sure. So, I'm sure there's another layer on there. Yeah, there is. I knew it. There's no need. You don't have to take both layers off. But, a tip. What you need to do is you just first cover the part here. Don't put too much glue. I made that at first when I started this, and I had a huge problem. So, and then you take your paper. I'd suggest you take the brush, but don't dip it in the paint yet, in the Mosh Posh. Don't put too much, because what's going to happen is the paper will start falling apart, and you don't want that. You don't want that. That's what happened to the one I was just painting. So. Do this to all the cans, and then we go to the next step. So now we are going to add the motif on here. So what I did is I tore one of the first big ones out. You have to be very careful because these flowers are, what do you call it? The paper is very fragile. So what you do is you want to put it right here. Then you add your flower. Oh no, there's still some purple in there. We don't want that. I want to try to do the same as the other one. So what you do is do this. You add it. So basically that's it. Now we wait for it to dry, and then we paint them all. Do all the same thing. I just did it on these two, the two end of the shelf that I'm making. So when I'm like I told you before, when you lay it on the side, because when you put all the cans on top of each other, you're not going to see this part anyway, because it's going to be connected to each other like this, you know. And once it's connected, you won't see much anyway. So the most important things are the sides. I should have put it the other direction, but it doesn't matter. It will still look nice this way. And like I said, I'm going to paint it like the other one here. It's all dried already. I think it looks great. This is not done yet. Now I'm going to add the string around it. Okay. Okay. Now, I did these two. These are the two ends. When everything is dried, it's still kind of wet, you can paint it all, like I showed you, with the yellow and white, around the flowers, and the other three big cans, just paint them all yellow only. And then you take the smaller cans, and then you can cut some more of these motifs out. That's pretty much dry. No, not perfect. And you can add some all around the top part, because that's going to be laying on top of all the big cans like that. So this is going to be a big can here like this. And then that can is going to go on top of here. So it's going to be like 3 little shelves. So far this is what I planned. It could, but with me, how everything is so chaos when I make my videos, things change a lot. So what we're going to do now is glue the string onto the can. I'm not going to do too much. That's one thing I don't want to do. I don't want it to look too much of a chaos. And then I'm going to take my glue gun and I'm going to stick glue right here up top, all across here after I put the rope on it. And then when you put your hands on it, it's not going to cut it. I mean, I filed it down with sandpaper, so it's okay. I think it looks great. Yeah, and then we go to the next step after I put the rope on. So let's see if this is ready yet. It always takes so long to heat up. Get this piece that's no good. So I'm going to go slowly around because I want glue all around on the bottom one, because I'm going to put like 2 rows. So what you're going to do is put this directly onto this area here. And you need to So you see how I did it here. Like with this here, I'm going to just try to glue that up a little bit further. This one here, so that doesn't look so funny. Tiny bit of glue. Use my fingernail. No one's really going to see that. So to make the cans even, I have to put some on top too. So I'll probably put 3 layers of that, but I'm going to start in the back this time. Try to be a little smarter. Oh God, no. My problem is this cable here it's more plastic than anything. So I couldn't find the one that's just cloth. I couldn't find that. I did find one that was cloth. Hi, mother. Damn it. Burn my finger. I'll live. This is the only thing I found close to only, not plastic. It was this one, and that was way too thin. So here's what my cans are going to look like. This is the finished product. I think it looks great. It really does. It's simple. Now I can do this to all of them. And then, like I said, I want to make shelving out of all these cans, so that I can stick in my pencils here on the side, anything that I need to get right away while I'm doing my work, instead of having it all over the shelf. So this is my finished product. You can do anything you want, any kind of napkin, you can do any kind of motifs, any kind of color, any kind of wire. You don't have to follow what I did. So let me tell you the basic steps. The first step, clean tin can you need. Totally clean. Nothing left inside. And, it doesn't matter if this is sticky. It doesn't matter. Because I'm going to be covering it anyway. Then the second step is doing the inside. Here you see I did the inside. And first I started painting it and I decided not to. And then I decided, okay, let me use some old book pages. So I decided to take the pages, rip them up, and stick them in there, even though it was already painted. Didn't want that in there. So I did that. I think it looks great, even though it has the paint in it. Like I said before in parts of the video, and part of what I was in this tutorial. You can mix paint to Mod Podge and it still will have the same effect if you want to use it and do it different colors. So that is the second step. Do the inside first. Very important. Unless you're going to use with a lot of paints on the outside, maybe it's better to do the outside first. My opinion, inside first. Finish the inside what you want. Make sure it's totally dry. Because then when that's done, you can take your hand and use this to turn it around if you needed to. Yeah. Inside, second step. Third step. Now you start working on the outside. I used napkins. I took the napkin, like I showed you. Take the napkin, pull the back off, do it gently, and use the back for this part first. Put it in small pieces like this, and then glue it. But you have to be careful, because if you put too much glue, you're just going to make a big mess. It's going to fall apart, and then you're going to have to start all over again. Some parts of here I did that too, but this is what the effect I wanted to have. Fill the whole thing up, let it dry, and then when it's dry, you do the fourth step. The fourth step is adding your motif. I did the motif. Showed you how you could do that. Like I said, the paper is very, very, very thin. So be very careful on how much of the glue or Mod Podge you use, that it won't fall apart. You have to be very careful and don't brush too hard. Like I said here, you can use a different napkin. This is a thicker one. I couldn't even take the back off. I started out with this one in the first place, but then I decided, nah, I don't want that. But you can always stick this on here, make it perfectly the same size, go all the way around, and then you can do decorations on the side. You can do anything you want. You can use normal paper, but with normal paper you can't do the napkin procedure. With paper you just take glue and put it on, hot glue on it, and then our normal glue and glue it on top. Bam. Easier too. Much easier. The fifth step is the paint. I took a sponge, you can see that in the tutorial, used 2 different colors, and I went all the way around except for this area here. And then wait for that to dry. Sixth step is the cable or wire or ribbons or lace, anything you want to put on here. I put this in here because I want it simple. And then that's the finished product. It's 6 steps. If there's anything I missed and anything you misunderstood, I said this already once in the video, please comment or ask a question and I will be so happy to answer you. So let's go to the next step. Here's the finished product. Like I said, the very last step is gluing it. Very easy to do. If you have rope on the sides, you can glue it here on each end, top and bottom, only on the side, right near the top. Just right here, right at the edge, and then glue them together. When you're done with the bottom, glue the other cans that you want on top. You don't have to do it like I did, 2 small ones and the big one. You can all use all big ones, wouldn't matter. If you have any questions or comments, you can write them please below. I'd love to hear from you and I would love to answer your questions. And please subscribe.